Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Golfing Greenkeeper podcast. My name is Steve Smith, and I'm your host. Got something fantastic and very different for you this time. This is John Deere, Golf Keeper of the Greens. We've done something a little bit different for this episode. I went down to Cobram Barooga, down on the Murray River in New South Wales. Fantastic golf facility, 36-hole facility, and I was down there for the Women in Turf program this year, supported by John Deere in collaboration with Envu and the ASTMA, which is the Australian Sports Turf Managers Association. It's fantastic to be down there with John Deere. I was working with them, and the whole purpose of this is to gain experience and give female greenkeepers some experience in tournament preparation. And the Webex Player Series is a fantastic event for that. And had the opportunity, as being down there, being part of it, the idea was to chat with the 6 female greenkeeping volunteers that were selected from right across the country to be involved with this program this year. Now, I have to let you know that we recorded this out on the golf course. It was on the West course, the day of the Pro-Am that was played on the old course. So we're out on the West course, 2 courses, like I mentioned, 36-hole facility. Now, this was the day before round 1. The Pro-Am day. So after they'd done the morning prep for the Pro-Am, we got out there on the West course to go and have a chat, and there was a couple of other interviews being done. The ladies were being interviewed by Fox Sports as well. They had a couple of other media engagements to do. And as this was recorded outside, you're going to hear some background noise. So I just wanted to let you know that. Like I said, this is not like it was not like all of the other interviews that I've done. There's a little bit of outside noise, a little bit of background noise because we were live on the golf course. You're going to hear some birds, you're going to hear some other background noise, some machines, but I tell you what, there's a plethora of bird noises that you'll hear, which is actually quite nice out there recording. Now, it was also my first time recording outside, so it's a little bit challenging for me just to get the audio levels right with each person I was interviewing, so I do apologise a little bit for that. In case you hear it's a little bit up and down, but bear with me through it. I think you're going to get a lot out of it. There's great insight that the women are going to give to you as the audience, and they gave to me, talking to them and understanding more about them and their careers and where they're at, different stages. There's so many different parts. You're going to hear a lot about the differences in the way that they got into greenkeeping. So this is a great snapshot of hearing women in turf. That's the essence of this program. Now, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, Keeper of the Greens is proudly brought to you by John Deere Golf. Fantastic people at John Deere Golf. And I'm so proud to be able to partner with John Deere Golf. I wanted to make sure that I'm working with somebody who supports the industry, someone who cares about the industry. And in all the times that I've spoken with John Deere Golf leading up to this partnership, that's what I got. That's one of the key things I got out of them is their support of our industry. If you want to be better, if you want to present a better golf course, if you want to get support in what you do every day as greenkeepers, as turf managers, as superintendents, John Deere Golf are the people that you need to be talking to make sure that you can see what they've got to help you do better at what you do. So part of this is making sure that I partner with someone who cares, that wants to support our industry, and that's John Deere Golf. And look, as we know, the game of golf relies on your team's passion and professionalism, which is why you can trust John Deere Golf for a wide range of advanced equipment and dedicated support. They've been around in golf since 1987. John Deere Golf has built a tradition on trust and excellence on golf courses all over the world. And that's the other great part about John Deere Golf is that they're global. They have so much that they can draw on to help support you, which is fantastic in the background. It's the all their experience and all their knowledge and all their gains over all those years that they can support you in what you do, looking after the turf at your site. That's what's so good about having them being there behind you and helping you in what you do. So make sure you reach out to these guys. Make sure you reach out to your local John Deere reps that you can talk to them and find out how, like I said, find out how to be able to do your job better and ask those questions. You can find your nearest John Deere dealer today at deere.com.au. That's deere.com.au. And like I said, they're supporting me. They are there to support you as well. So lean on them, guys and girls. Make sure you get out there and get in touch with your John Deere reps. I know you're going to enjoy this one, so kick back, relax, get ready. This is episode number 107. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Keeper of the Greens, John Deere Golf Keeper of the Greens, and we're here at Cobram Barooga Golf Club for the Webex Player Series as part of the Women in Turf program. And I have with me Chrissy Wilson as part of the volunteer group that are here. G'day, Chrissy.
Good morning, everyone.
Thank you for joining us on this. I want to get a bit of a feel from you what it's like to come here. So you're working at Green by Nature up in Brisbane. What's it like? How long have you been working for them?
That's right, I've been working with them for nearly a year now and loving it. I've always worked outside from about 21 years old, so 15 years ago now. And yeah, it's my place where it's where I want to be no matter what I'm doing outside.
Yep.
And just really enjoying it being up here.
Awesome, that's unreal and nice to be outside. So where are you in turf with them at the moment, or because you're here working on a golf course prepping for a tournament, which is fantastic. Is it a little bit different for you?
Yeah, absolutely. My normal day-to-day is horticulture, so landscaping management for a commercial site up in Queensland. A lot different here, different machinery, different tools, whole different setup, but it's good to see the other side of what goes into keeping a golf course looking so impeccable.
Awesome stuff. So you're going to see a lot of, this is a big learning experience for you on many levels because you're not working on a golf course per se every day. So what are some of those little things that you've found here that's a bit of interest to you?
Certainly just the upkeep that goes into the greens, the level that grass is cut, the moisture reduction that comes overnight with the heat, irrigation, the different types of any pest and disease or weeds you can get in. Just really the management of it really goes into a lot of preparation, a lot of organisation the guys do here.
Awesome, and it's a bit of a team too. Like everyone's sort of working together on a big space. Is this bigger than some of the places that you've worked at?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. With the two courses here, it's incredible. My site would probably fit into here about 10 times. So.
Yeah, right, that's cool. Can you give us a little bit of a rundown how you got into working outside for a living in the hort space and that sort of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Grew up in Toowoomba and, went straight from school into a reception office job. Lasted 4 years and realised just how much I hated it.
Yeah.
Moved to the sunny coast and got into a government program there called Green Army, where you went out and did bush regeneration, land clearing and putting natives back into the areas. From there, realised how much I love working outside, even in the Queensland heat. Yeah. And went to TAFE, got my Cert 3 in horticulture and conservation land management, and then worked up at a resort in Mullaney, Sunshine Coast, for 8 years before COVID hit.
Yeah, yeah.
And they've just been outside ever since. Moved to Brisbane last year and started working at Green by Nature and loving it.
That's awesome. Really nice to hear you getting into and you enjoy working outside for them. You found that that's something that you liked after working indoors. I'm curious a little bit, is there sort of one thing right now that you like about this job here, like on a golf course, different to maybe what you're normally doing day in, day out?
Definitely. There's no hedge trimming here.
I know what that's like. Yeah, I hear you.
Definitely just the attention to detail that goes with the greens. It's impeccable. The amount of work with the rolling, the watering, the blowing, the trimming, like everything. And you stand back, even up close and staying back at a distance, it just looks as impressive. It's just outstanding.
No, that's really good to hear. What's it been like for you? Because you come from Brisbane, come from Queensland, and we're down here in southern New South Wales on the Murray. It's a long way from home. What's it like for this trip been like for you to come here, preparing for a tournament, something you've never done before? Golf's not something you've ever done before, sports turfing, golf, and jumping into a new team for a period, getting into that, getting involved. What's that been like?
It's actually been really great. I thought it would be a bit, daunting or anxious coming in. We've got 5 volunteer girls as well as myself, so 6 of us all together, meeting for the first time Sunday when we got here, working with the current greenkeeping team. A lot of older blokes. There's no females on the team just yet. We might change that. And it's just been a bit of a whirlwind, but every day there's something different. We're learning, we're getting to experience it, we're getting to watch a bit of the golf as well. I'd recommend it to anyone. Absolutely, definitely apply next year. Yeah,
cool. That's great to hear. Is there something that do you think you'll look into? Golf as a different form of something else for you potentially in the future? I don't know, because sports turf, is that something that has surprised you, different to what you do every day? I mean, obviously you enjoy doing what you do in the hort side of things, but have you found like a different level of interest in sports turf that you probably didn't think you'd seen before?
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. There's a lot more time, you can spend looking after a particular area with sports turf. I found that's quite interesting. I'd like to probably, look into that. And within our company, you can transfer between different departments. So
Yep.
there's the opportunity to grow and learn different skills and always come back to horticulture. So it's something I'll take away and, learn through my team and, take that back and, definitely follow some more initiatives and some, more volunteer work to learn more about it and be able to just grow and grow. You can never stop learning. So
I do say that a lot. You're always learning, especially in this sort of going different environments. And even if you're doing just golf and sports serve, it's so different and varied between different environments, from top of the country to the bottom of the country, east to west and all that sort of stuff. So that's good. I'm glad you said it that way. How have you found, and probably one final question for me is, it's a pretty, I'm a big fan of this program, the Women in Turf, and supporting females and getting you guys into this realm a lot more, because as you mentioned, it's a team of just blokes here at Cobram, which isn't uncommon. No. So how have you found, I'm curious, how you found this pathway and the industry support through this program? Has it been helpful, like, for your career, I suppose, and what do you think about it in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been very helpful and supportive by John Deere and people here at Cobram Barooga Golf Resort. Everyone's just been very welcoming, very supportive. I'd definitely recommend it to anyone who's keen to have a go at it and come out and learn. Any other programs you can learn from, apply yourself, because you'll always take something away from it. Every experience can be what you make it. So definitely just get in, have a go. I have no idea what I was doing, but I'm learning as I go, and it'll be something I'll take away and look into doing more and more courses like this. I'd recommend anyone to do the same thing.
Yep.
And just reach out to your managers and supervisors. Like my supervisor, Shana, recommended this course to me. She did it last year.
Yeah, right.
And I'm glad she did, because I'll definitely be looking out for any other ones, and it'll definitely help you with your own current workplace.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Chrissy Wilson. Appreciate you coming on Keeper of the Greens. Ladies and gentlemen, I have with me Abby Taylor from Charlestown Golf Club up in the Central Coast of New South Wales. How are you, Abby?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very well. Now, this is a bit of a deal here, coming to prepare for a tournament. What's it been like on the few days that you've been here?
It's been pretty awesome. Terry and his crew are very welcoming, and the course just looks awesome. It's in great condition.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background there. What's Charlestown, up that way? How long have you been working there, and what position are you at the moment?
I'm just about to start my second year apprenticeship. Yeah, I have played cricket most of my life.
Okay.
So I've kind of got into it through that.
Yep.
And just learning about sports turf and how it gets done. Yeah.
Awesome. How have you found going from Charlestown to preparing for a tournament down here on the Murray? What's the deal? Have you found much in the way of differences at this high level sort of stuff?
There's a lot more people working around, doing different jobs. It's quite fast paced, so a lot of things going on at once. Yeah. But yeah, it's awesome.
How have you found sort of jumping into a new team here? It's a bit of a deal. You're coming down. At least you've got a few other women in the group as part of the Women in Turf program here. It's fantastic. What's it like to jump into a new team for a short period of time? Terry Vogel's the superintendent here that you're working under. What's that process been like coming? It's not down the road. You've had to make a trip down here. What's the whole deal been like for you?
To be honest, I was quite nervous to start with.
Sure.
Like, new environment, new people that I've never met before. But everyone's been so welcoming, and you can chat to Terry. He is the nicest guy ever. The team have been all very welcoming, and it's been great.
What are the super early mornings? Is it different to doing what you're doing week in, week out at Charlestown, doing these early morning starts here in the dark, getting ready for the tournament?
Yeah, it's very similar. We start the same times, so it hasn't been too bad to adjust.
Is there anything about greenkeeping that you sort of like more than anything else in the role? What's something that stands out for you that you enjoy the most out of greenkeeping?
I do like mowing and like striping up greens or tees or fairways. That's always nice to do.
Is that your favourite machine, the fairway mower?
Oh, I haven't done too much on the fairway. I do on the greens and tees, so that's nice to do.
Is there any one particular thing working here on the tournament or at Cobram in general that you might take away from here that you've learnt, that you probably haven't learnt from where you're working every week at Charlestown?
I guess just doing a massive, it's a very big tournament down here. So I guess being in the atmosphere of a massive tournament and just getting the course all ready and pristine for these pro golfers.
Is it different, like grass types? Have you found much difference there just to look at and prepare here than where you work every day?
There's been a little bit of a difference. They're getting cut a bit lower and different heights and different ways of cutting the greens and fairways and tees and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll do more tournament volunteering potentially in the future at different events, whether it be the Australian Open or some of the bigger stuff maybe?
Yes, definitely. I reckon it'd be awesome to go to different courses around Australia, even the world, and just figure out or learn how to prepare different courses and just be able to see and witness it.
That's something that this career does allow you to do quite well. I've interviewed a lot of people that have been all over the world, let alone all over Australia, and they really do enjoy that, going to other places and seeing how different places work, because there's lots of different environments. Do you like the different environments sometimes that you experience on golf courses and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so this is probably the first big course that I've been to. I haven't been to too many because I've just started, and it's awesome to look at. It's so pristine and pretty, but I'd love to go around and look at other different courses and see how they do their work. And
yeah, cool. Awesome. And one final question, this is what I'm asking everyone as well, is how have you found this pathway in particular with the Women in Turf program? You're early in your career, like you mentioned, but how have you found this new program and the industry support of Women in Turf?
I think it's pretty awesome. It's like getting more traction and it's great. And being able to interact with other females that are in the industry, even if they're just starting or they've been in it for many years.
Yep.
Just learning learning about their journey, how they got here, has been awesome. And just meet new people.
I've got to ask, what do your friends think? You're a greenkeeper.
I think they think it's pretty cool. They think I just drive around on golf carts all day, but it's a lot more to that. But yeah.
Were they surprised? And one thing that I sometimes ask people, especially women in the greenkeeping trade, were they surprised at all that you went to become a greenkeeper?
I think some people would be, but my family were not surprised because I always loved the outdoors and sports and so I don't think they were too surprised that this is the career path I chose, but they're very supportive. And
that's good. Great that you got great support. Abby Taylor, thank you so much for being on the Golf and Greenkeeper podcast. If I can shield it a little bit. Oh, hang on.
Oh, sorry.
That went well.
That was like forcing it this way from my head.
Nearly got anyone listening. I just nearly got KO'd and cleaned up by a golf ball. Oh dear, hang on. I'm going to watch these guys because he comes in. Oh no, not quite. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got Ella Arter with me. Ella, what year are you and where are you working? I'll ask you that to start off with.
I'm a second year apprentice. I'm contracted by Next Gen Jobs to Maroondah City Council at Dorset and Ringwood Golf and all their sporting facilities.
Now that is, I got it completely wrong. That's down in Melbourne, not up in Queensland, down in Melbourne. So you're not too far away from here and it's not too big a trip for you to get this way. How did you get into greenkeeping as the beginning of your career?
I originally, after high school, got into vet science and I went and studied it for a little bit, and it was like directly after COVID, and I just really hated being in a room and staring at a screen. And I was like, I need to do something more hands-on, even if just for now, just defer. So I went and worked at a farm, and they did a lot of horticultural and floriculture sort of stuff. And I loved it. I just loved being outside, had my farm dogs with me, good mates, it was fun as. And I decided to leave to do vet nursing because I thought vet nursing was my thing. Went and did vet nursing, looked at the 4 white walls I was stuck in and was like, no, got to go back outside. And I applied to be a gardener on a cemetery.
Yep.
And Next Gen Jobs called me like, we have this other opportunity you might be interested in. And they explained it, and it was like being a sports turf. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll literally do anything. I'll give anything a crack. Always want to try.
Yep. And
this is the one that has, out of all my weird little careers, this is the one that has stuck the longest. So, yeah.
And that's great to hear, and great that you worked out sort of that you didn't really like being inside so much, and that you enjoyed outside with your pup. There's a bit of time on the farm, which is always good, and plenty of golf courses out that have a team mascot dog, as I call them, which is great. What is in greenkeeping? You mentioned that it's stuck. What is it about greenkeeping, do you think?
There is definitely times at the start where I just kept doubting it and was like, I don't even like golf, like playing it. But I think it's the opportunity to go into so many different pathways that really interested me. And I was like, if I stick at this, I'll be able to go where I want. Like, it will help open so many more doors.
Yeah, and I often talk about this on the podcast with lots of supers, that they've branched out in different realms, and it's a great place to start because there are so many different facets, and you can get right into technical stuff and the science side of things as well, and you can travel the world even and work on different places. Where do you see yourself a little bit, I suppose, in that side of it? Do you like the idea of travel or other things, you know?
Yeah, definitely travel. Very interested in going to Canada and doing some sort of golf season there, and then doing snow season. So my two hobbies can tie into one. And then also New Zealand.
Yeah.
Really love the New Zealand courses. They look like they don't look real, and I just love it. So cool.
There's some pretty special places over there in New Zealand, and there's more that's always coming, which is great. I want to ask you, what's it been like getting to come to up here at Cobram from Melbourne? It's a bit of a trip. It's not down the street, right? So what's it like coming up here, dropping into a new team, getting ready for a tournament prep? It's high-level stuff. You've got, the Women in Turf group. You're a group of 6, but then you're jumping into a much bigger group here led by Terry Vogel. What's it all been like as a process?
I love it. I've done a few other of these sort of tournament things, but the people at this one are so good. I love them. They're just all very relaxed and, all want to help each other. Learning from the other girls has been great too, have other friends in the industry that are girls is awesome. But Terry's team they're so funny. And it's just good fun, and you're at work, so it's just as good. But but just learning new practices off each other is awesome, even if the other person has dodgy because they've been doing it for 50 years. But it's still so fun to do and see.
Do you think you'll do any more tournament stuff? You mentioned you've done other things before. Do you enjoy doing that?
Yeah, I love it. That's like my favourite part of the industry is seeing the differences between each place I go, and everyone sort of does it the same, but also with their little niche. Yep. And I don't know, I really enjoy seeing that, how people create it for themselves.
One of the things I particularly like is the environment side. They're all different environments, and that's part of tweaking each golf course into the local environment. Do you like that side of it too, and the different spaces? And this is quite different here to what Melbourne is down that way where you're talking? Yeah,
I really like that. It's a country golf course, and all the people here know each other. And yeah, the nature here is definitely different. You got your kangaroos going around everywhere and ruining everything, but it is really fun to see. It's pretty surreal.
Awesome. And one final question that I want to hear from yourself, being a team member of it. How have you found the pathway of the Women in Turf program and the support, the industry support of the program? How have you found that being helpful to your career?
Yeah, I really like it. They really hype you up and want you to do more, and that's pretty cool. Sometimes I feel, you don't feel as confident or something. But yeah, just being able to network and have all these different connections.
Sorry, we're being interrupted by a kookaburra in case everyone can hear that.
But yeah, the different connections I reckon helps. And if you go to a new place and they have a new machine or something and they're just like, hop on, let's go, and you do it and you're fine, and it's great. Thanks
so much, Ella. I really appreciate you jumping on the podcast.
No worries, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have with me Vicky Liddington, all the way from the West Australian coastline. G'day, Vicky. Welcome onto the Golfing Greenkeeper podcast.
Hey, how you going?
I'm very good. Now, this is a little bit different for you. Where are you working over there in Perth? Whereabouts?
I work for the City of Stirling, so along the coastline.
So you do golf, sports, turf? What are you doing over there? Or
we do have a golf course. We have Hammersley Golf Course. It's just recently had a new driving range and club put in. It's very nice. I'll get out and have a look, hopefully.
Yep.
But I generally do parks and gardens, so anything within a bollard line is generally mine to maintain.
How have you found, this is a big trip coming over here, right? It's a bit of a deal, dropping into a new team. There's 6 of you, the Women in Turf program, coming into a pretty decent-sized team looking after a big space for a tournament. What's it like doing that trip and the exercise, the whole experience?
I'm loving it. I love looking at new teams and how they work, and Terry and his team are very enthusiastic and loving doing their work and showing us around, and it's amazing. I love seeing the enthusiasm, and it just brings the young girls, they're so enthusiastic. It's making me happy and enthusiastic all over again after that 3-hour flight.
Yeah, all that stuff rubs off, right? The energy and the enthusiasm, I found it's a real buzz to be around, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Especially getting up the early mornings to prep for the tournament. You're not from a golf background, so how have you found this tournament prep stuff that's going on here and the high level of detail? What's that been like for you?
Again, loving it. I'm an attention for detail person, so love that sort of stuff. I love being taught how to do it.
Yeah, cool.
It's amazing.
Is there anything in particular so far from working here in this one of the jobs or tasks that you found more interesting that you probably didn't think you would?
It's funny because not from a turf background. I haven't been on a machine in a while, and we were doing the fairway mowing, and I'm just like, I didn't think I'd like this. I'm really enjoying it.
I think a lot of people enjoy mowing fairways more than they admit to sometimes. It can be a lot of fun. There's no two ways about it. Is there anything from here that you'll take away, do you think?
I'm hoping I can take some enthusiasm back. And I always look at different soil types. They've got a new nursery developing and stuff like that. Just looking at that sort of stuff, I'm sure I'll take something back and change it to, I don't know, change. You never change the world, do you? But you can look at different things around the team and stuff like that. So
yeah,
hopefully,
sure.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. And in terms of an environment, when I travel, I love to go and look at the environment and the differences in different places. How have you found working here, much different to Perth? Like you said, a little bit in the soils, and what's it been like?
It's so funny. I drove around the course last night for a look and that, and the blokes I'm working with are like, oh, and they're showing me pictures of koalas. I'm like, oh, I've never seen a koala in the wild. If you see, the course itself is amazing and looking at it and different and that, but yeah, and the river down the back. As a kid in high school, you were hearing about the Murray River and how salty it was and all that. I suppose that was the start of my environmental interest sort of thing, and just seeing it all and the way it goes and how they irrigate, and I don't know, I'm always inquisitive. So,
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Great to hear. And one final question. How have you found this particular pathway in the Women in Turf program, the industry support around getting more females involved in the trade of greenkeeping and sports turf management? How have you found that?
Really good, actually, because I really don't know many women in sports turf in WA. I suppose there's some out there. I didn't even know how many young apprentices coming through, because we're all horticulturalists.
Yep.
Women go towards horticulture rather than turf.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that they're actually getting out there in the turf industry with that little finer detail of people and stuff like that. So
Awesome.
It's great seeing these guys help support us.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Vicky, for being on the Golfing Greenkeeper podcast.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, moving to the next wonderful female in this Women in Turf program here at Cobram Barooga as part of the John Deere Women in Turf. And I have with me Emma Lewis from Settlers Run down in Melbourne. G'day, Emma.
Hello.
Now, look, this is a pretty cool thing to be preparing for a tournament. Have you ever done anything like this before?
No, never. My first tournament. It's really cool and I'm really enjoying it.
And what level greenkeeping are you at down there in Settlers Run?
I've just finished my 3rd year.
Yeah, right. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
You're getting close to the end. How have you found that?
Really good. It was definitely a push, but I'm glad I made it. And
Yep.
4th year is like final year full-time at work. So yeah, it's good.
I've got to ask, how did you get into greenkeeping? Because it's not that common, and that's just part of what I like to talk about and expose more is women getting into the trade. How did you do it?
I loved mowing my lawns at home, funny enough. And yeah, it was like, let's try getting into a trade.
Yeah, wow, that's cool. Have you ever been part of golf or anything like that before?
Nah, nothing.
No?
Nothing. Had no idea about golf.
And so getting into greenkeeping from, that's a really small way to get in, like enjoying the lawns at home and that sort of stuff. How have you found the level up from doing sort of lawn care at home to really getting on full tilt into the heavy stuff of a golf course?
It's pretty cool. Like, you wouldn't expect what the maintenance out here is like.
Yep.
But yeah, it's really cool.
Can you name anything in particular right now that you like about greenkeeping on a golf course? Or is there just all of it, different facets of it, whether it be mowing in one of the big machines or if it's looking after bunkers or just the space that it is? Is there anything in particular that you like more than anything else?
Not really, just being outside, and yeah, I just love my job, and anything to do on the golf course now, like I love doing.
What's this trip been like to go from where you work at Settlers Run to coming to a different environment up here on the Murray, different to Melbourne? It's hot, it's dry, and extreme weather conditions that they get here, and you're in a new team, you're preparing for a tournament. What's that been like? You're jumping into a new team, trying to get a bit of a groove on. What's it like doing something different like that?
It's definitely different, but it's really cool. It's cool just meeting new people and people with the same idea and the same career-wise.
Yep. That's really good to hear. And have you found working with the team of volunteers into this new group here? It's been good.
Yeah, it's really good. Good to meet some new women in the turf industry as well.
Is there anything particular that stands out for you here that you might have learnt so far in your time?
Not really. Just the 36 holes amazes me. Like, looking after 36 holes, that's insane.
It's a beast, right? Having so much space. I look at it and I can't believe how much work gets done on here. It's unreal. Do you like the tournament side of things, and is that something that you might look at doing a little bit more volunteering in the future? Maybe the Oz Open and different events like that?
Yeah, definitely. Do love the tournament work towards it. It's so much pressure on you, but it's good to have pressure as well as high standards that you have to meet.
Are you looking forward to watching any of the golf as well?
I'm not a big golf person myself, but I mean, I'll have a look, see what they're like.
How have you found the pathway here with it to support you in your career in the early stages?
It's been really good. They just keep pushing you, but I love to have the push in the back to get me going.
Yep, no, that's good. Where do you see yourself going, do you think? I know it's early days.
Still very early days. I would love to be able to start my diploma this year. Right. See where that takes me, but yeah, hopefully further up the chain.
Awesome. Great stuff. Thanks so much, Emma. I really appreciate you jumping on.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have with me Olivia Cowan from Coringal Golf Club down in Melbourne. G'day, Olivia.
Hello.
Thanks for joining me on the podcast. You mentioned just quickly then you've listened to the pod before. Is that right? I've got to advertise that.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of the interviews in the mornings when I'm at work. So.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much for listening. What's your role down at Coringal? Where are you? What are you doing?
I'm a first year apprentice, so I'm very new. I start TAFE next week.
Oh, wow. That's exciting.
Yes, I'm very, very excited.
Very, very exciting. That's new, really new, fresh. How did you get into it? I've got to ask you, how did you get into greenkeeping as a young woman in Melbourne? What got you into it? Are you a golfer? Where did it come from?
No, I don't play golf. My dad and my brothers, they play golf, and Dad does a lot of volunteering out at a little country course in Backsmash. Backsmash West. Dad volunteers a lot. Like, he will be there after work all the time. And I think I was about 15 when I first started going out there with Dad and actually helping him, because there was this one day, this guy wasn't cutting greens, and I said, Dad, I was like, just give me the day off school. Like, I was like, just give me the day off school. Like, I want to go cut greens. Like, it looks so fun. So he's like, fine, like, just this one time, like, just, that's it. I went and cut greens, and like...
Hang on, you cut greens? How old were you?
I was 15.
What?
Yes.
That's unreal.
Yeah, so I cut my first green when I was 15, and then ever since then, I just, like, fell in love with it. I went into engineering. I have my engineering cert too, but I was just like, nah, like, greenskeeping is just for me.
That's such a great story, cutting greens. Do you remember the first run you did?
Oh, yeah, it was like banana.
I was going to say, I remember my first run in a weapon banana, right?
It was really bad.
That's so good. So how long have you... So you were 15 when you started, and did you wait till you finished school to get into the trade?
Yeah, so I was just helping Dad around a bit because he actually kind of realised, like, oh, she can do it. So, yeah, so I was helping Dad, and then, yeah, I literally graduated year 12, and then a week later I was full-time working at Coringal. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. Is there any one thing that you do about greenkeeping in your short career in it that you love the most? Any one particular task, or I don't know. Is there anything you like the most out of it?
I don't know. Any job is pretty good,
yep.
But probably the sunrise in the mornings is like my favourite part.
Nice. That's so good. What's this journey been like coming here as part of the Women in Turf program to, it's not down the road, right? There's a bit of an exercise to come here up on the Murray, seeing a different golf course, getting your head around the space, tournament prep for the Webex, new team, you've got a group of young females you don't know, you're in a bigger group of people you don't know. What's that whole experience been like?
It's a lot different, but it's a good different. So working with other females in the industry, it just makes me feel so much better about working in a male-dominated industry. So I'm the only female in our course team, but this program has just given me so much more confidence, in the industry.
What's it been like chatting with the other women in the group here?
It's been really good. Just seeing how they their battles and how we can just connecting on things and how much we have in common at work and seeing how people do things differently.
That's great to hear, and good that you got that level of support and interaction with others of a similar sort of career path as well, which is great. Is there anything working here in particular that you found quite different that surprised you a little bit?
Probably the way that the boys rake the bunkers. It's a bit different.
How do you mean? Tell us.
So usually at Kringle I just go I do my lap first and I go straight up and down, and then I do a clean-up lap after I've broomed the walls, and then some of them do half. They'll rake half the bunker but not straight up and down.
I find it interesting that we all reach the same goal but we all do it in different ways sometimes. It's quite interesting. Do you think it's still early days and you're only partway through your time here this week for the Webex? Do you think you'll look into doing more tournament volunteer work?
Yeah, I reckon I will. Yeah, this has been a pretty good experience, especially our first tournament day today. It was a bit hectic this morning.
Yep.
But yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing how you go. Tomorrow's the real day. It's game face on tomorrow morning. Are you edgy about that? Excited?
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm very excited.
Is there anything that you'll take away from your experience here already? I mean, like I said, you're only halfway through at the moment. Is there anything that you'll take away from here that that's stuck to you?
Probably just the amount of kangaroos that are on this course. Oh my God, the amount of times I thought a kangaroo was just going to square up to us.
I saw ones this morning. I thought there was going to be a massive blue one between two massive males. They were growling at each other and full on sizing each other up. There's a lot here.
Yeah, they're definitely scary.
How have you found, one final question, how have you found this Women in Turf program in terms of the pathway that's going to help women get into the career of greenkeeping and into our trade that we call greenkeeping, and also the industry support in that as well?
Probably that you're definitely not alone. There are so many people out there to help you and support you. No one's against you. Yeah, you're definitely not alone. Because
I often talk about, I love the fact that there's this Women in Turf program. I love the fact that John Deere is supporting it and the industry's got it going. But we often hear about how challenging it can be. There is something in that, like you said, knowing that you're not the only one.
Yeah, it's because it's a male-dominated industry. It can be scary going into work every morning, what's today got on the table for me? Is it going to be a tricky task? It's going to be easy? But, there's always someone there to help you. If something's too heavy, someone's going to help you. They're not just going to be do it yourself.
It's funny how that's one of the things that I hear a lot of people talk about as an example, not just guys talking about it, but women talking about it. As you get older, things get heavier too. I can vouch for that. So it doesn't matter. I'm looking for help when lifting bags of fertiliser as well. So it's not just women that need that help. That help is there now normally in a modern workplace, which is so good to see. And I like the fact, your enthusiasm. You sound like you really love this career path.
I do. I've never had a day, even though I've been working for 3 months, I've never had a day where I've woken up and I go, I don't want to go to work. I'm always come on, let's go to work. I'm excited.
Where do you see yourself going in this career?
I want to be a superintendent. I want to be the big boss.
No, well, that's a great answer. What about experiencing different courses? A lot of people I hear about in our industry that are getting into it, or the people that I've spoken to on the podcast, they've travelled a lot with other programs internationally or nationally as well, and volunteering and things. Do you like the idea of travel as well?
Yes and no. I think if I was to travel, I wouldn't work or live overseas permanently. I think I would just like to stay in Australia.
Yep. Very good. Olivia, thank you so much for being on the Golfing Greenkeeper podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined by Superintendent Cobram Barooga Golf Club here, Terry Vogel. G'day, Terry.
G'day, Steve. How are you?
Very well, mate. Thank you. Exciting Pro-Am day here. We're starting to get a real tickle on with the groove now and getting ready for the Webex tomorrow. So there's a bit of hype and a bit of planning. Everything's starting to execution now at the moment. How's it all going?
Oh, look, pretty good this morning. Obviously, 7:30 shotgun. You know, we got here at 5, so there's not a lot we could do sometimes. But we look at Wednesday as a bit of a relaxed day for the course because it's a lot of amateurs playing. So, and then we ramp up for 4 days, a little more polish, perhaps. Yeah.
Very good. And in terms of the Women in Turf group, the volunteers, have just been interviewing the volunteer women and how are they getting used to the run for the course and the tasks involved in learning the layouts and that?
Look, every intake's been great because they learn the layout really quickly. They're all experienced operators on golf courses, so there's not a lot of training involved. It's just a matter of knowing the timings of when they're meant to get to places and back. But look, can't fault them.
I've got to say, one of the things that stood out to me so far is their enthusiasm. And they're really excited to be out here doing it and being involved in the team. It's not easy to jump into a new team.
No, that's true. You know, there's plenty of volunteer situations, Australian Opens and stuff like that. I would just hope they're as energetic as the crew that I've had for 3 years in a row because I just seem to love the fact that they're away from home, different course, different crew, and learning along the way.
Is there anything in particular that you do to help support them? I noticed I've been around this morning watching them do some work. They were sort of buddying up with one of your team members. Is that the best way?
Yeah, look, it's to me, it's the only way.
Yep.
And then we've just got a sketch pad where we've walked out who's worked with who. Got to make sure they don't work together with too many of the same people. Mix the girls as much as they just mix as much as possible. And get out of bed and you do a different job every day. I think that's how you stay fresh.
Is there something that I suppose is good for them to learn, not just the course, but being in that mix of having a partner with your team members here, and they're learning that. They're also learning about the local people, and there's a lot of the local side of things here that rubs off as well, and learning space.
Yeah, look, as the tournament evolves, we have 85 volunteers that do the spotting of golf balls and stuff. And they're incredibly welcoming of the because they know that the girls are adding something to our tournament. There's 6 extra people helping the course look its best. So they're welcomed into the Barooga community as one of our own, and we always claim them as our own when they leave. Whenever I see them in the magazine, I always point out and say, oh, that's our Sophie or that's our whoever. So
that's brilliant to hear, mate. In terms of the court, I noticed I was out here walking last night. It was literally dark and heads were popping up around the tees and greens. There was a pro coming out because he says it's my last chance to have a putt. How's it all getting? The greens are getting to where you want them to be now, and I noticed you were monitoring them this morning, moisture levels and things.
Yeah. So, look, it was all new to me when we started 4 years ago about we like a certain firmness and look, I've been a golfer too, but these guys are pretty finicky with what they want. So just trying to monitor the firmness through moisture, speed. They don't like these big jumps and peaks and troughs through the tournament. So we're stimping at 11 this morning on a Wednesday, which is great. And our moisture levels are pretty much where we are. So that's all we can really do, and hope weather plays its part.
Mate, that's the challenge. We know we're off the leash when it comes to Mother Nature, and we don't have any form of control. But, mate, the place is looking incredible. Great to see the Women in Turf group, the volunteer women here, and the support from John Deere. It's all sort of gelled really well, and the enthusiasm there rubbing off all over the place with everyone and part of the team. Mate, congratulations to yourself and the crew. Everything's looking a pretty picture here, and I've been blown away by the course. I had a look. I've got to ask. I had a look. We were talking about as well. There's some native grass areas out of the
Vogel grass.
The Vogel grass. Yeah. Mate, that is impressive stuff.
Oh, look, it's just a little bit of framing, shaping that I do. Incredibly unpopular with the members. But I'm used, as every super, that's automatically, and it's going to happen anyway to you. So unfortunately, but no, I think it just adds a little bit of framing, a bit of strategy. You know, there's a big mound of long grass at the end of a par 5. If you're going at it in 2, I might lose my ball there, and that's just a little bit of extra strategy I think that's there.
Mate, the course looks a picture. I'm really excited for the Webex, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, CEO of Cobram Barooga Golf Club, Bobby Brooks. G'day, Bobby.
Morning, Steve.
Thank you for joining me, mate. This is pretty impressive here. We're doing some conversations with the females as part of the Women in Turf program and the Webex Players Series here at Cobram. This is a big deal that you guys have got going on, and it's the 3rd, 4th year. Where are we at?
Yeah, 4th rodeo for us. It's been a very special introduction to Cobram Barooga. We set out on a strategic plan 5 years ago to introduce an international golf tournament. And through consultation with PGA, they come and had a look at our course and they determined that we were definitely up to standard. And they were in the process of bringing this new concept of men and women playing for the same purse into the country from the States, where it had been going for 10 years. So first time we ran it, we had Hannah Green win it, and
yes.
Hannah's obviously gone on to bigger and better things. And
I'm a big fan of Hannah's, just quietly. Yeah, she's great.
Don't worry, we were a big fan of Hannah. She absolutely put us on the map first time round. We were world news because this was the first time that this concept had actually gone to plan for the PGA.
Yep.
And of course, year two, we had another female winner in Sarah Jane Smith. It was an amazing format for us, and our golf course works for that format in that once they adjust the tees, it equalises the competition for men and women, and it comes down to skill, not strength or how far you can hit the ball. So, and then we had the introduction of John Deere partway through that 4-year journey, and we changed our fleet over to the green and gold, and 30 implements, sort of $2 million worth of gear. And a big part of that conversation was about a partnership, not just about buying gear. And I can honestly say that partnership has yielded everything and more in terms of what we wanted out of it. And then the introduction of the Women in Turf program to Cobram Barooga Golf Club and especially this tournament is just an amazing fit to the whole men and women golf tournament. So we 62 women in this week's field and 82 men, which is about the same numbers as we had last year, which is the strongest representation that we've ever had.
Yeah, wow.
In this tournament. And to have 6 or 7 females join our greenkeeping team, courtesy of John Deere and Hutchin Pearce, is it's an amazing contribution to our outdoor crew, but it's just really culturally significant about where golf as an industry is going and how hard they are working to try and integrate women more and on a level playing field into the game of golf, but obviously also the coalface.
Yeah, and that's very, very impressive to hear. And certainly from the club's point of view, you're going down that path of seeing that integration and seeing that open transparency of having both male and female involved on all fronts of the golf side of things, which is great in the sport, competing at the highest level and also maintaining the course. Because maintenance side of things, is we don't see it. It's very, very been challenging a lot for females to get into the game. So openly talking about it like this and having the support from John Deere, having the support from the turf management industry is really positive, and you guys are really leading the way in doing that, which is great to see.
Yeah, I think we're happy to be part of the journey, and we do believe strongly in it. And our club has gone down that path in all aspects of our business, including the board level and management level, in trying to integrate males and females. I personally enjoy working with females at board level and management level. I just think that they, not because they're females, but they just bring a different element and a different type of thinking, and I've no doubt that is exactly the same that applies outside.
Yep. No, very good to hear, mate. Very impressive, and this puts you guys in good. Like you said before, it puts Cobram on the map. Certainly hosting this event. What's the tournament been like? As we step away from these other parts, and the tournament in itself, it's a big deal on the spotlight in the Murray.
Yeah, look, it's great. I mean, Cobram Barooga is synonymous with having an amazing golf course, and this whole region, and the Murray River in particular, is spoilt for amazing golf courses. And having this tournament as part of what we're doing now, it has certainly taken our reputation to another level. And I travel a fair bit, and if I've ever got a Cobram Barooga Golf Club logo on, invariably somebody will stop me and say, "I've been there," and it's not I've just been there; it's I've played golf there.
Yep.
So. Look, it's really good for our region. It's been really good for our reputation, and we've got it contracted for another year. We hope that continues. In terms of the other benefits, well, they're obvious. We fill every accommodation bed in town. We've got 69 of these young professional golfers billeted in about 34 houses, which are mostly our golf members. So really giving these young professionals as much assistance as we possibly can. And if it's anything like last year, we expect that there'll be about a crowd of 5,000 people will come out over the 4 days and walk the course and check it out. And it's it's not ticketed. It's a free event. Come and enjoy it. There's lots of activations for kids and families, and hopefully we get some great weather.
And that's another level of insight, mate, if you don't mind me adding to it, is for people to come and see golf that might not necessarily look at a different golf course in that way. To walk the fairways, you're soaking it all up. As a golfer, I find your eyes are down, you're following the ball and you're looking at where you're playing from. But when you step back from a gallery perspective and you're walking around experiencing different parts, you see a golf course in a different way.
I think that's really important point. It's one of those opportunities where you can literally stand at the back of the tee and be 2 metres away from some of the best golfers in Australia and even the world, and to see how they hit the ball and the control that they've got is quite special, and I've witnessed it many times. Even non-golfers really appreciate how good these guys are.
Bobby, I really appreciate your time on the podcast and talking about the wonderful work that Cobram are doing and also the industry, but what you guys are leading and also the Women in Turf program as well. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Steve.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. How was that? Fantastic to chat with all of those women involved as part of the Women in Turf program. Like I said, this year the program is supported by John Deere in collaboration with Envu and the ASTMA. It was so good to hear from them. And of course, in that group, as you heard towards the end, was Superintendent Terry Vogel. Great to get his insight and how it's working for him on course in preparation, how the Women in Turf volunteers get incorporated into the team and being out there to gain that experience for tournament preparation on course. And also thanks to Bobby Brooks. So thanks to Terry, thanks to Bobby Brooks, the CEO of Cobram Barooga. Great to hear that insight and just what that club is doing, what they're trying to achieve, what they're part of, and what they're forging ahead with in terms of females in golf, in greenkeeping. It's fantastic to hear. And I've got to tell you, having been down there for a number of days, like I mentioned, working with John Deere, it's just such a wonderful facility. So if you're down on the Murray, I have to say you got to get over to Cobram Barooga and enjoy both the golf courses they've got there. It's just a beautiful landscape, beautiful country, fantastic 2 golf courses. There's accommodation there on site. It's got everything at Cobram. So I was very appreciative to be involved and be part of it and experience everything that was going on down there as part of the Webex Players Series. Just fantastic to be involved. I have to thank each and every one of the individual women who I got to chat with: Chrissy, Abby, Ella, Vicky, Emma, and Olivia. So good. They're wonderful people. They've got great careers ahead of them. And I hope, like myself, you all enjoy following their careers. And if you bump into them at industry events, for those of you who are in the greenkeeping space, if you see them later in their careers, golfers, if they're at your clubs, go out there and say hi. If you see them further in their careers, go out there and say good day to them. They are all fantastic individuals, and they are going to bring a lot to our industry, and they are already doing so. So I thank them all. I thank everyone for being involved. It was really great to be down there involved with this, and really, really good. And I'm so glad I was able to bring this little snapshot interview series of this event, the Women in Turf program, to you to listen to, just so we could hear firsthand the thoughts, the opinions, the experiences of these fantastic female volunteers, all 6 of them, at the early stages of their careers in turf, and some of them not so early stages of their careers in the Horton space, but all getting a taste of tournament preparation and sports turf management in greenkeeping. Fantastic to be involved down there as part of the Webex Players Series. So with Cobram Barooga. And a big thank you to John Deere for having me being part of it. I'm so glad that they were able to get me down there to be involved. Really appreciative and so glad to be able to bring it to everyone. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you to all those involved. And don't forget, of course, to check out the show notes. There's going to be lots of clickables, as I always say, in the show notes. So please go and check them out as well. I'll leave you with it. You hit them clean, we'll keep them green, and I'll catch up with you very soon.